Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind Never That Terry's Mode. Dolo is the Archangel URIEL. Flight boss here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're going to talk about the imagination. Now, with the imagination, before we get into anything, I want you to always remember this. Always remember this. Because knowing this is going to make you realize, like, it ain't no point of going with the conscious waves, aka get played out in this 3D realm as trends and shit. You're going to start to really look at it like, what's the purpose of copying? What's the purpose of doing things that everybody else is doing just because it has an energy source that's bright enough for everyone to pay attention to it? And your imagination is your light. So don't never dim your light. The brighter the imagination, the brighter the light, the brighter the attraction, the more source you'll be able to have. You see what I'm saying? You could become a source. So we have a lot of people who are disclosing their imagination for the overall imagination, disclosing their light and spirit for an overall light and spirit. And then that thing that's getting so much attention is 9 times out of 10 probably just be ran by an oversoul. So it's like an overall type of thing. So you got oversouls all over the place. You think it's billions of people on the earth? You got billions of oversouls. And they come in letters, languages, words, signs. And once that sign attract so many other spirits and soul, that motherfucker can become a planet. That's how the planets you see became planets. But when we're talking about your imagination, see, you need to know that whatever you bring into the world, you got to really put in your mind that it would have never been here if it wasn't for you. So when you sit back and think like, man, how much shit I've been putting in the world, you start to realize how much shit you've been copying. How much shit you've been helping bring into the world. You ain't been bringing shit to the world. You've been helping shit come to the world by other intellectual beings who may be vibrating high and put certain things out there for you to pay attention to. You only help them bring shit in the world. You know what I'm saying? The employees only help the manager. The managers only help the district managers. The district managers only help the corporation. The corporation only helps the nigga who created that corporation. So that nigga is sitting back while all his generations of offsprings get to go right to college and take over the business without working or doing the hard labor. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that on every level. So this is what you have to understand. You can't get mad at them because they doing what they supposed to be doing. They brought a bright light here. Now whether that light and illusion and the shape form that it looks like, whether it applies to your nature or not, whether it appears to be negative to you or not, whether it appears to be right or wrong to you or not, that really wasn't your realm of reality to be going into in the first place, because it's your duty and responsibility to create your own imagination. But see, you got so many intellectual beings out here who try to cancel your imagination, and it's been happening since birth. The schools you go to, you see what I'm saying? People you was raised by, the environment, you know what I'm saying? Certain things you did. All these things contribute to you canceling your imagination and using your imagination to help reality, when reality is based upon imagination. So you got a bunch of people, elites, who utilized their imagination and made you think that that was reality. So now you utilize your imagination to help build their reality, which came from their imagination, which you have to realize your imagination can become your reality. This is what you got to understand. You see what I'm saying? So I say that to say this. Once you rewire your brain and really put in your mind and your heart that I don't care if it's bad or good, if it's something uniquely Your idea, don't disclose it or dispatch it or something like that. Because always keep in your head that it would have never existed in this world if it wasn't for you. And that means something. That means something. Just think about how many ideas, how many things you wanted to do, right? And you ain't do it based upon what you thought was reality, someone else's imagination, society and shit like that. You know, like, I'll wait on that. Let me work a little longer to do that. Think about how many times you actually did that. Then after a while, that spirit, aka that light, goes into a space all alone, and it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer till it's not seen. So the spirit of that is not even seen anymore, to the point that you get drawn out by reality, to the point that you don't even want to experience. Your imagination is really your magic. See what I'm saying? But how to keep that intact is always remembering this. Whatever idea you got, when you express it, I don't care if it's bad or good, it would have never been seen, or it would have never been part of this existence if it wasn't for you. That's your claim. Don't let nobody take your imagination from you. I don't give a fuck if you watch my videos and don't believe a single word I'm saying. That ain't the point. The point is, I'm actually expressing my magic, my imagination, my light. See what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose. So it will become my reality. It got no choice. That's how the universal laws work. It got no choice. My imagination will become my reality. That's how it will work. So whatever you thought how things supposed to work, you wrong. You just applying yourself with a system or organization, something that's already preset, something that's already there for you. You know what I'm saying? You starting on another person's saved game. You know what I'm saying? When another person then beat that game and then enjoyed that game, all you did was take over where they left off at and saved it. Some of these people be making part twos to these games and shit, and you play it and you get all excited. But it's all a game. It's all a system within laws and structure that obligate what you can and what you can't do. And a lot of it is you can't use your imagination. You can't go to work and just think what you want to think. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a construction worker or you work in business and technology, you just can't go there and do what you want to do. No, you're there to carry out a duty and obligation. And if you're not channeling that program the way that program need to be channeled, then your cable line gonna be disconnected from it. And you're gonna be somewhere lost, like, I don't know what to do. You ain't got nowhere to plug in your plug at. You ain't got no own charge. You ain't got your own source. So now you somewhere looking for another source to plug in your plug again, so you can get used up. But really, you need to be learning how to become your own source. And I'm not talking about, they don't have to all be reality yet, in their imagination yet. You can start with the basic building blocks, with just expressing yourself, expressing your ideas. See what I'm saying? And never disclosing your ideas. But just keep in your mind, whatever you brought would have never been here if it wasn't for you. So that kind of gives you a mission. That kind of lets you know now, like, okay, that must be what I'm here to do. And it's going to hurt you every time you don't do it. It's going to hurt you it's going to start hurting you every time you don't get these out, or you don't at least do something to cater to it. It's going to start hurting you, because that's your spirit telling you something. That's your spirit showing you what line path you on. Just like you got to be careful, like in this vessel. People like, man, I found the faith, or I found something. I've been on this long journey. You don't want to keep that. You don't want to keep consciously being aware on being long journeys. The time is now. Time ain't tomorrow. The time wasn't yesterday. The time is now. You don't want to keep being constantly aware of thinking you was on a long journey, or things going to take a long journey. Because when you leave this vessel and go into a bigger vessel, you're going to be doing that literally. Literally going to be on a long journey. You're going to be traveling so many lights and lines and experiencing so many different consciousness awarenesses that it's really going to wear you out. You think you wore out now. You don't want to be wore out in that existence. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm here. I'm here to lighten your load in ways you never known. Your load can be lightened because you're so physical. You're so in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? You're so lost. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna close this video off real quick just to let you know. I don't care if it's bad or good. Always remember, it would have never been. It would have never been existed if it wasn't for you. So that should remind you to never disclose your light. Never dim your light, because that's your ability to shine. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss bitch, goddamn man.